Welcome to another episode of the Real Animals Podcast, always presented by my good friends at Contender Boats. Super excited again today. You guys will notice when I open these, I always am excited because I'm so blessed to know so many cool people in the industry. And today is definitely one of those days. We are with Nick Vasilaros. He is the man in charge of Abyss Battery, and we are going to pick his brain. I want to pick his brain a little bit about how this whole, there's so many batteries out there. It just seems like everybody on the planet is jumping in this game. So first of all, why did you decide to get into it? And then I want to know, we'll talk more about how you become, in my opinion, the leader here in this game. But tell me about that journey. Tell me about this whole Abyss Battery journey and how it all started.
So it started about 10 to 15 years ago. I was 18, got involved in the marine battery industry. When I was 18, had my first job. I helped start two different battery companies. We were all over the map. There wasn't really any direction with the company.
Were those both lithium battery customers? Okay.
Right. We were doing batteries for like refrigeration trucks, delivering like high school meals across the United States, custom jobs like that. Golf cart things, but like I said, there's no direction. There wasn't any sole focus on what we were doing at the time. And long story short, kind of got fired from the company and then rehired. And I'm like, what is going on here? But things kind of happen for a reason. And when you act upon something like that and make it happen, you got to realize what can come of it. And so, like I said, I really fell in love with the industry. And then growing up, I got my captain's license, so I was running fishing charters at the time. So I had a really good background knowledge of the marine industry.
You're Captain Nick. I need to call you by your right name there, buddy.
Yes,
I didn't realize you were a captain. That's cool.
Yeah, so I've been around the marine industry my entire life, tournament fishing, running fishing charters. So put two and two together. There's a lot of different electronics that have come out, the need and demand for a better battery for a boat. Working for the last company, they really didn't listen to me on different ideas that I had, with the Bluetooth technology, the chargers, just all encompassing. But I set out to kind of dial it in and fit a gap and a need for a reliable battery. And we're focused on one thing, and that's the marine industry.
I like it, dude. I really do. And I think it's interesting. I don't know how many other companies are doing it because ever since I've, been partnered with you guys, I'm just kind of locked into what we do here at Abyss. But, to have the app, to have the charger, to have all the things you guys have, where does that set you guys in the competition? Is everybody else just now trying to copy you? Is that how that works?
Unfortunately, that's something that we can't control. But when you do see similar products coming out and different competitors, that just kind of means that you're doing something right and in the spotlight for a reason. So It's definitely stressful at times trying to be at the tip of the spear and, doing what I think the industry needs, but having all of our products communicate with each other and make them really easy to use, easy to install, and not really overthink it all, but just being able to, it's like our electric fishing reel batteries. That's a cool new product that we added. That's, lithium batteries. And like I said, we cater to the marine industry. And at the end of the day, I try to create products that I would see myself using, to be honest. And that's kind of where it goes.
Nice. So when you say you've been around the marine industry your whole life, where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
Clearwater Beach.
Oh, really? I didn't know you're a local. You full blown Florida cracker. I like it. My wife is too. I like that. That's cool. Very cool. All right. So did you guide some over there in Clearwater?
Yeah.
Okay. Inshore, offshore.
Done.
Inshore, offshore. Both, really.
Both, but I prefer offshore.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. You like to wander to some pretty cool places, so we'll dive into some of that as well. So. Offshore fishing, inshore, man, you guys that's such a whole Clearwater area. It's such a great fishery. Even the inshore, the big snook, Caladisi and all that stuff, and the schools of redfish that get back there, the big trout up and, it's just, that's a very, very fishy part of the state. There's so much. It seems to me like there's so much clean, fresh water that comes in there that the grass is always healthy. It's just a really healthy estuary.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we do have a great fishery right in the back of the yard. Bird Island. There's been times where I've been fishing like really, really late at night and massive pods of redfish. I mean, every single time I'd cast a bait, boom, a grass grunt or a pinfish, smoked. But you got to go super late at night just because there's a lot of inshore guides that put a lot of pressure on the fish.
Right. Yeah, well, we get that all over the west coast of Florida. That's what happens when your beaches are so beautiful. You end up with a big population and lots of angler noise for sure. So interesting. So offshore fishing is kind of your thing. What were you running for a boat back then?
Originally a 30 Kong, so
Okay.
awesome boat.
Yeah.
My brother and I would commercial fish. We had permits, catch red snapper, grouper, and I'll tell you what, it was a grind.
Yeah, that commercial fishing ain't no joke. Them guys get after it, man. No doubt. So
Yep.
that's interesting. So a little commercial fishing, some guiding, and then the battery business, huh?
Yeah, that's how it all started.
Yeah. Did you go to college? I'm just curious.
So, growing up, my parents they really wanted me to either be a doctor or a lawyer, and they're like, Nicholas, if you don't do either of these, you're gonna become a loser. So I had a lot of pressure from my mom and pop, and at the time, like my mom does a little real estate, my dad had a body shop, cars and stuff, but I'm like, shoot, I got to make my statement in life and do something that I really feel rewarded and happy. And I was really fortunate that the stars kind of aligned, but it never was an easy path to make happen or accomplish. So being in the right place, right time, and starting something really, really small and kind of growing it to what it's at now. I remember a time where I had to ship my batteries, label the batteries, sell the batteries, build my own website because I didn't have enough. Like I could only buy 5 batteries at a time, and that's how we kind of first got started.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Huh.
really, really, really small, and just grew it, grew it, grew it, and that's what it takes. But
How many
so
years
getting
ago?
back to the college thing,
How many
I
years
did
ago was
7 years of
Go ahead.
what?
How many years ago
So
was
I
it that
did.
you started Abyss? I mean, that's a crazy
Um,
story, dude. I didn't know all that. I didn't realize that you actually were selling 5 batteries at a time to get this thing going.
that's
That's
all I could
insane.
afford. That's all I could afford to have as inventory. So
Wow.
getting back to the college thing,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd run fishing charters, save up money here and there. I'd win a fishing tournament, get some extra cash, and it would just go all towards inventory.
That's insane,
But
bro. So
yeah,
college,
so
talk
getting
to me
back to
about college. Yeah.
so I did 2.5 years at Stetson pre-med and over in Deland. Really cool school, I loved it. And then I transferred to University of Tampa. But when you transfer from one private school to another one, your credits don't transfer over. So I ended up having to retake a few of the classes that are just like kind of a waste of time, to be honest. And college doesn't really teach you anything about a business, especially in my degree. But I never ended up actually graduating, to be honest with you.
Interesting. Huh. Wow. That's crazy. I'm still blown away by starting that thing with 5 batteries, dude. I just, and maybe it's because when you and I got partnered up, you were already up and running and established, which would make sense. You don't bring on a bunch of pros to help you grow a brand when you're only selling 5 batteries. So, I get that, but I guess I don't know how I thought it came about, but that's interesting to me. Wow. And now I notice you spend a lot of time, I shouldn't say a lot of time, but it might be because in my brain, when I think about calling Nick Vasilaros, I wonder what country he's in right now and how many big fish he's catching. So talk a little bit about your travels, because I know that you've traveled some places. Where's your favorite place? Where's the coolest place you've been?
Well, Mike, I've definitely been to quite a different places. I've been to Cape Verde, chasing big blue marlin, Madeira, Azores in Portugal, Costa Rica a handful of times, Cabo. It just depends what you want to catch and what you enjoy doing. But I would say, you know, Madeira is beautiful over in Portugal, but the fishing's slow. But when you do catch a good one, I mean, it's massive. Like if you get a bite in Madeira, it's a huge fish.
And
And
is that
then
all
there's been,
marlin? That's all marlin fishing?
yeah,
Okay.
Yep. And
Wow.
I love fishing down in the Keys too. Cape Verde. So I don't know if you know this or not as well, but I get seasick. And Cape Verde is so rough. That's like where the hurricane winds are formed, and it is rougher than hell, man. And the boats out there, not nice. No air conditioning, salt spray, and you're just like, come on, let's get a fish. And it's almost torturous, to be honest with you. But that just, it really is. But that just goes to show you, it's like at a time I was just like, I'm paying for this? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, it's just like torture, but it all makes it worth it when you catch that fish.
Wow. What's the coolest fish you've ever caught? What's your biggest, proudest moment? Do you guys fish the tournaments when you go to these places, or are you just going to fun fish?
No, just fun fish.
Okay.
But this year we're gonna try to compete in a couple different tournaments, which should be fun.
Okay. And what's your
Like Jimmy
biggest?
Johnson. My biggest marlin's like 700-pounder over in Cape Verde.
Wow. That's a big fish. How long did it take you to get it in?
35, 40 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
You just back down and leader them.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. What kind of tackle does that come on then? I've never marlin fished like that. I've done some marlin in Costa Rica and things like that. But I think once you step into that, where 700-pound fish live, that's got to be a different deal.
Yeah, I mean, we fish anywhere from like 50 wide reels to 80 wide, like the Shimano, Tiagras, whatever the captain had at the time, but a lot of them fish the Tiagras. We're just like patrolling with lures, nice spread, dredges, and you just coast, and we'll wait for that bite. And then if it misses a lure, you get ready and have a pitch bait ready.
Pitch bait, yeah, okay. So
And that's fun, hooking a marlin on a pitch, that's exhilarating.
yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet that's cool. I've been on the boat when we've hooked a couple of marlin. Never had the chance to get a chance to really fight one. We hooked one in Louisiana. We were tuna fishing a rig and hooked a small blackfin tuna, and a marlin ate the blackfin. Yeah, and all just come tail walking with the rig in the background and all that. It was incredible. We were out there filming with the Pro Marine guys, and then my wife hooked one. She grabbed the rod, which we didn't. It didn't stay on very long either. But we had a good marlin on in Costa Rica there out of Zancudo where we fish. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, that was kind of cool. But I've never had a chance to really, get a big fight on one and get it close to the boat or anything. So that's on my list of things to do. At least I think I want to do it. 700-pound
Let's
fish.
make it happen.
700-pound fish.
You're a strong guy, Mike.
I hear you, but
you got it.
It'd be interesting to do battle with a fish that size. I think that would be really cool. What scares me about it is I think no matter how much pain it was causing me, I just couldn't give up the rod. I couldn't.
Yep.
I might be physically damaged after the battle, but I'd be like, no, hell no, I'm not giving this up. This fish either gets off or I land it, or no one else is touching this rod.
100%. I'll tell you what. So when I was running fishing charters, and I still do every once in a while with cool clients, it's like, if we went fishing or something or whatever. I was about 40 miles off of Clearwater, and I had like 6 people out. We're just bottom fishing like cheese bottom, red snapper, grouper, kind of just like dragging. And one of my client's sons, he's reeling up a red grouper, and out of nowhere, a blue marlin comes up and eats it and gets hooked. And I'm just like, no freaking way. Unbelievable. I got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than that ever happening again. But I'll never forget that moment. And it was just greyhounding. It was nuts. There's no way we're going to land it. But, we're just like fishing a rocker jig it was hooked in the mouth and the weight was flying. And I'm just like, holy smokes. But that's why I like the Gulf of America, man. We have everything in here.
Yeah, no doubt, right? We that reminds me of a story. So Captain Ben Marshall and I used to give away a trip where we would fish together. We would give away the trip to USF, to their sports department. And this father and son, they bid on the trip and they win the trip. So we take a father and son out. And I want to say we went, it was like August or September. I remember it being really hot. The schools of bait were all over Egmont. They're all over by the mouth. And there's tarpon and, big bluefish and all kinds of stuff crashing these bait, schools of bait. So we run out there and we're flipping baits in there and the kids catching all this stuff. And all of a sudden, one of them pods, I saw a tarpon roll right in the middle. And I was like, Benny, throw me one of those pinfish. So he throws me a pinfish. And of course, I'm not thinking anything of it. We're using redfish and bluefish tackle. I don't have my tarpon rods on the boat. And I pitch it in there and immediately this thing eats it. I'm like, of course you did. So we hand it to this youngster. I know. We hand it to this youngster, and this kid's he's probably 10 years old. He's got 110, 115 pound tarpon on. And the bad part is, again, very probably similar to how you were feeling. I'm like, go get him, kid. Kid's so excited. We got a couple jumps out of him. But you're like, there's no way we can land this fish. Like, this is never going to happen. We're not going to land this fish on 15-pound test. It's just not going to happen. But it was pretty cool, man. Yep. It's always interesting. That's one of the cool things I think about just fishing. And it can almost happen anywhere you are. You just never know what's going to happen out there. You just never know. It's so interesting, right? We were catching snook over on the South Shore of Tampa Bay on a trip with really great customers of mine. Customers for years. They moved to Colorado. They came in to visit their family, and one of the young fella on the boat, he just starts screaming. He goes, I got a monster. And I'm like, normally where we were fishing, we catch 50 to 100, 25-inch, 26-inch snook a day, right? We never catch a monster out there. We just don't. So the minute it starts screaming drag, I think he's got a shark, but he's so excited. I'm like, okay, well, we'll follow it and just see what happens. We get over there, we get close to this fish, Nick, and I look down, I'm like, oh my God, it's a 42-inch snook. I was like, the kid, dad's biggest is 40. Now the kid's like 14 years old, and his biggest is 42. You just never know what's going to happen fishing. Anything can happen. It's such a cool experience. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it magical. So
back to the pursuit of the pursuit of what's unknown but attainable.
I like that. So back to the battery world. What do we have new coming from Abyss? Anything new on your visionary planet that we can talk about, or are we just grinding to keep delivering the best batteries on the market?
No, we got some really cool stuff coming out, but I'm not going to fully disclose everything. Things are still being tested. But we're always continually trying to innovate and improve our products, testing out different things, see how they work better. But one thing that we are going to release soon that we can talk about is the new software. It'll be really nice when it comes out. It'll help OEMs, marine dealers, everyone kind of check on their customers. So it'll be kind of a serviceability platform. It'll be a little more advanced than what our Bluetooth app is now. And then we're going to add some other key features and sensors to kind of fully monitor everything from security to bilge bumps to...
Oh, really?
Everything. Temperature, a bunch of cool stuff. So,
boy, the evolution of the app game is crazy, isn't it? What you can do with the apps now and what we'll be able to do with them here in the future as far as, like you said, checking out components and what's working at the right, voltage and all that stuff is crazy.
Yeah, preventative maintenance, being able to, run algorithms based upon the data analytics to be able to predict if, hey, something's going to go bad, and being able to kind of have a solution before it does go bad. Yeah,
I like that. That's forward thinking. So what would be some things? Let's talk about, I get some pushback from time to time. It's a lot of I think it's probably some of the older generation, not, how we get, we don't want to, I put myself in there sometimes too. We don't like change. I don't like change. What do you mean lithium batteries? What are some of the things that you would put out there if you were talking to somebody on the street and they were just telling you, I don't know about this whole lithium battery thing. What would you tell them?
Well, change is good, and change happens for a reason. Lithium batteries have been around for a while, but now in point in time, the technology's gotten so good. All the components that make up an Abyss battery come from different factories that specialize in that one component. And so when you're looking at one of our batteries as a whole, it's got the best pieces. It's a big puzzle with all the best pieces to form one solid, great product. Additionally, on paper, it makes sense, especially for the trolling motor batteries. you have one 36-volt Group 31 battery comparing, three 12-volt Group 31 AGMs. A good AGM battery is about $400. You have to replace them every 2.5, 3 years, depending upon how you maintain your battery. Because every battery does have come to an end. You kill a battery. It's its life cycle. And just the weight savings, the functionality of it, the ease of installation, saving up room space, weight, improving your draft. It's really a no-brainer. And the amount of capacity and energy that it holds comparable to, your 12-volt AGM battery. So lithium, you can discharge 100%, and you have real lithium amp hours. So if you're talking about a 105, 36-volt 4D battery, you have 100 true lithium amp hours. Comparable, if you have 3 Group 31 AGM batteries that are rated at 100 amp hours, they're really only 50 amp hours. So there is no comparison, but the efficiency of it as well, and how fast they charge.
What's the
It's like
longevity?
comparing
What's
anywhere between 3,000 to 6,000 cycles, and a full cycle is like 100% down to 0, and then charging it back up. And some people can't even kill our batteries in a day of fishing. They just charge it 60%, 75%, and that'd be like a quarter of a cycle.
Wow, that's incredible.
And so long-term cost savings. It's not cheap to replace 3 batteries every couple of years, plus installation fee, new batteries.
Yeah.
One and done. You get one of our batteries and you'll be happy. And if anything's wrong, you could always give us a call and we always take care of you. But customer support's something that really has set us apart from our competitors as well. But, we really, really care about our customers, our products. We stand by them. And, manufacturing on a level, sometimes things do go wrong, but we're always there to make them right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part.
I get rave reviews from everyone that I've sent you guys to. I even I just recently got some silly rave reviews from my buddy Kyle, who runs Pro Marine over there in St. Pete, over off of Bay Pines. And he was asking me about I went in there and they do all the service on my boat. I think they're the best in the area. So I was dropping my boat off and Kyle's like, hey, tell me about this Abyss thing. We're getting so many questions about lithium batteries and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, they got some dudes in there that I can't even hardly talk to. They talk so far over my head and they dive into it real deep. And I mean, they're great people. Like truly, really, really, you have surrounded yourself with great people. And he goes, okay, well, give me his number. So he ended up getting a hold of Ryan and getting Abyss in there. And then a couple months later, I roll in for another service. And right away, he was like, dude, you weren't kidding. That guy knows his stuff, man. I mean, I'm so impressed. So I think that's a really neat piece of it, at least from the pros side of it. I have a lot of partners, and for me, it's really important that those partners can deliver on what I'm promising. It makes my job so easy. If somebody has lithium battery questions, I'm like, listen, I can tell you what I know and how they're working for me, and that's all great. But if you're, and some guys are just more technical than I am. They want to know, they got to be like you. They want to know the ins and outs and this and that. And they got to be able to break it all down mentally. I've never been that guy. I need product in my boat that works, that I believe in. I obviously know the overview of everything we're doing and why we're doing it. But when you really get into breaking stuff down and making it so the guy on the street can understand it, I think that's a special ability. And then with what you guys do there, with that ability to teach people the right information so they understand what they're buying, and then with what you guys do behind the scenes, again, somebody like Pro Marine, they don't want a dud in there. They could lose a customer, if they say, hey, get this battery, and then they buy this battery and they're expensive and they make this big change and they pay for the install and all that stuff, and then the whole thing's a dud. There's nobody behind it. The app doesn't work, whatever. It looks bad on everybody. Then it looks bad on me too because I sent you guys in there. But you guys do such a good job with getting just positive feedback from around everywhere. Ever since this partnership began between Real Animals and Abyss Battery, it's just been really, I've been really impressed, bro. Really. I was impressed the first time we talked on the phone, but seriously, you've done a really, really good job. The way you guys just show up and represent at ICAST. I mean, it just seems like everything you guys do is a step above, and I think that's important. And with you being the leader over there, I mean, that's got to start at the top.
Absolutely, Mike. I couldn't agree with you more. And I really appreciate it. At the end of the day, I definitely value doing what you say you're going to do. And obviously, if I'm going to put my name on something, I'm not going to cut any corners. But, and I mean, it's not just me though, from Ryan answering the phones, it's great support. Ryan was actually one of my first customers, believe it or not.
He told
And
me
so
that.
getting back, yeah. And so it's crazy what can happen and just like timing with everything. And, was able to teach Ryan a lot. He didn't really know a whole lot about batteries, but then we both learned and grew together. We listened to our customers, trying to figure out a solution, this and that, improve our products. And as long as you're always pushing forward and doing what you say you're going to do, it all comes together at the end of the day. But from our shipping guys, everything, we have a really good team here. And it's not just me, but at the end of the day, I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah,
So
no, sure.
it means a lot.
The Abyss team. I got a question for you. It just kind of popped into my head. Why Abyss? Why Abyss Battery? Where'd the Abyss thing come from? I mean, it's a great logo. It's super cool. And it's a cool name. But where did it come from?
So I drew up the logo myself, and it took me forever. I'm like, how am I gonna, try to create a cool brand or a cool logo? And just getting back to my roots, man, I'm Greek. Abyss is a Greek word. It means bottomless, unfathomable, and immeasurable. So it's like our batteries last forever. Marine industry, the stingray with the power symbol. So, and then even the colors, the white and blue, all Greek.
It's a great. It's a great job, dude. You've really done a good job with the brand. Like I said, I got to take my hat off to you, man. I'm impressed. My very first, and I don't know how many of our Real Animals Nation know all this. Some probably remember it, but my first putting my toes in the water with the lithium companies didn't work out so good. I ended up with just some absolute duds. And then we had a mutual friend who was like, dude, I got a guy, you need to talk to him. And that pushed for our conversation. And like I said, after our first conversation, I felt much better. But, whenever you get burned and whacked one time, I was like, man, these lithium battery companies. And I think that's something that some of the public is still going through. I know you guys have been around a while, but not everybody's taken that step. I think now that some of the pro Marines, some of those places have gotten to the point where they're like, hey, we got to carry these T.A. Mahoney Company, some of these, very reputable dealerships that either they sell boats or they do, marine hardware and stuff like a Mahoney's does. I think now that those companies are starting to carry them and push the products themselves, I think the public is probably settling in and understanding that this is the way to go. I mean, like you said, it's a no-brainer. You're going to replace. Yeah, it's inevitable. You're going to replace your batteries sooner rather than later. Why have all that extra weight in your boat? All that nonsense and that worry when you can go to something that's so much more reliable, so much lighter. I mean, again, my father used to always say good whiskey costs money. And so they're a little more expensive, but it's just that much better of a battery. The power's cleaner. It's just a different world. So I think now that everyone is catching up with that concept, it seems to be really, really taking off. And it's great to be partnered with you guys being, in my opinion, the leader in that. You guys even look like the leader at ICAST. I was thinking about that last year. I was walking around ICAST with all the other lithium battery clowns that are out there. I'm like, Abyss just doing it different than everybody else, man. I'm like, Nick's got it going on. He's just showing off. He's just doing it right. I like it. I need 100%. I need one of those hats, bro.
Yeah, dude, we actually have a bunch of new different
Swag?
styles and stuff. I'll send you a little package.
Yeah, I need some swag, bro. I'd have worn my Abyss hat today if I'd have had it, man. I like that. That's very cool. So how does this work now? You're just going to be a Clearwater-based company and just kind of stay here and grow? Are you guys international, or are we just U.S.?
So right now we're nationwide. There are plans in the future to go international, but we have a lot of growing to do this year. And so now, like for me, like there was a time where I'm kind of like looking back and I'm like, I kind of miss labeling the batteries and ship them out because now it's just a can of worms where this is something I had never thought I'd be doing, 5, 6 years ago, but it's more so being the CEO and the owner, you don't really always have the opportunity to work on the things that you like and enjoy doing and the fun stuff. You have to work on all the problems and stuff that's not fun. So that's the reality of it right now. But we're gonna make some changes. Add some experienced people like on the board, like find out like a COO to kind of handle like the day-to-day stuff, so I can get back to my roots and what I'm good at doing, the innovation, the forward thinking, trying to be ahead of the curve.
Right.
And we actually just finished our warehouse, so that's new. You got to come by here,
Where's
actually.
it? Is the warehouse
So
in
we
the
did a good
same
job with
place?
it. And no, so we have our office on West Bay,
Yeah.
and our warehouse is about 8 minutes away off Missouri Avenue.
Okay. Okay.
And so the warehouse is done. It used to be an old body shop. Made it a cool hangout. We ship it out here, have our team meetings, all that type of stuff. But in about a year or so, there's like a spray booth on the property, and then another like house/office. We're gonna wreck that and build like a 2-story headquarters, and then have the warehouse here, and
Okay.
then try to even manufacture, but that's a whole nother thing as well.
Wow.
Like actually, like yeah. So more to come.
It's funny because now, again, knowing you now for a little while, it seems like your wheels are just spinning away over there, dude.
Never stops.
Yeah.
Never stops.
Well, that's a very cool thing, brother. Well, I appreciate you spending some time with me. abyssbattery.com is the website. I've had Ryan on the podcast before. I wanted everyone to get the chance to know you, Nick. I think you're an integral piece over there. Obviously, I think great things, great companies don't come without great leadership. So I think it's cool stuff that you do, and I wanted people to hear your voice. And like I said, I know the company's grown in just a couple years that I've been with you. I've really been impressed with the steps you've taken. You've obviously just keep, the sky's the limit, I think, for Abyss Battery. So, immeasurable, if you will. So it's very cool stuff, man. So I appreciate you hanging out. Again, abyssbattery.com, Nick Vasilaros. My buddy Ryan over there, if you're looking for a voice who is really dialed into problem solving, if you buy a battery and you have an issue, man, you get a hold of Ryan over there. He talks my head in circles. We had him on the radio show several times, and I had so many comments about people just, telling me, hey, dude, that battery guy you had he was kind of freaky, dude. He knew all kinds of stuff. Even Mike Mahoney, who, the Mahoney family's been in the, marine hardware business in Tampa for 75 years.
Yeah.
And we left there, and Mike called me after the first time Mike and I sat with Ryan. Mike was like, dude, that guy's like crazy knowledgeable. Like, you don't run into that every day. So that's pretty cool, man. You've done a good job of picking and choosing the right people to be with. You're doing some promotion too on some of the Redfish tours now too, huh?
Yeah. So we have Ken involved. He's a member of the team as well.
Yeah, Ken Hickman.
Doing an awesome job. Yes,
Yep.
sir. And so we sponsor the National Redfish series that he puts, the National Redfish Tour, I believe it's called. And we're starting a little Abyss West Coast Pro, which we're having fun with it. We're going to start small and do the redfish stuff, and then try to add like a grouper tournament, deep drop tournament, maybe do some offshore categories. So definitely creating a community base where it'll be fun for everybody. Having another tournament around here in local waters gives up people an opportunity to compete and stuff. And like I said, more to come, but it's definitely in the making, and I'm really excited to see what that can come to its full potential.
Yeah, like I said, it's you seem to be wrapping yourself with good people. Ken Hickman's good people, works hard, very popular in the fishing industry. He was the founder of the Gills brand, which has been very popular for many years, and just super good people. So again, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for spending a little time with me today, and we'll talk soon, man. Everything you do for me, I appreciate you and what you're doing for the
Likewise.
The world of fishing and all that. It's pretty special. Abyss Battery, they power my whole world, man. I got them in my skiff. I got them in my big boat. That's the only thing I got for power. So we appreciate what you're doing, dog.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you too, man. Thanks for having me.
There he is right there. That is Nick Vasilaros, Abyss Battery, abyssbattery.com. Great battery company. And I know, again, as I kind of talked about there in the segment with Nick, there's so many lithium batteries out there that I understand the apprehension, to say the least, but trust me when I tell you, they're doing a really good job over there, really good job. I'm a huge fan of what they do. That guy Ryan's a freak, man. He knows every little in and out and surge, and it's crazy. When I get talking to him, my head just spins because I'm not that knowledgeable about that stuff. But Nick's got good people there, and Abyss Battery is the way to go if you're leaning towards the lithium world. That's a great place to start your search right there. We appreciate you again, as always. The Real Animals podcast is now we're on iHeart, which I think is kind of cool. Our crack production team over here at Radio Influence doing good things and getting us in all the right places. Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, all those good the Apple Podcasts. You can find us there. So check us out. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review. We appreciate that. And as always, Real Animals Podcast is brought to you by Contender Boats. They're our presented by sponsor, I guess they should be called. But we're trying to drop these just about every Tuesday or so. So check them out. And if you know of someone or can think of someone you'd want me to maybe do a podcast with, give me a shout. Let me know. Drop me a message. Real Animals Fishing Show on Facebook, Real Animals TV on Instagram. You can always direct message me over there. Let me know if there's somebody you'd like me to podcast with. We're always looking for cool people to talk to and cool people to interview. So tight lines. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for checking it out.